out. Virtual stage, but the spotlight dim. Many clicking past, ain't feeling his hymn. Waiting for the moment, blow up like a piston. Haters gonna hate, but persistence gonna glisten. Hold tight, 20 turn to 100 someday. Laugh in their face, shouting, who wants some pay? on the Dope Show.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. What up, Twitch? What up, Larry? What up, bots? What up, lurkers? What up, tiny people in my chatterino? It's your boy. Oh, yeah. Your reminder, Friday at 5:30. Friday's evening stream will not be the usual video content. It'll be the panel with Justin Freakin, Echoplex Dave, Redolent Thoughts. Excuse me. Should be a good time. Should be fun. And also next week this schedule is going to change, so please note the changing schedule. Monday, Tuesday, starting at around 1 p.m. Just have to test out like what time I actually get home. So it's always possible it could be 1:15 or something like that. And yeah, so Monday, Tuesday, 1 o'clock ish, and Friday, Saturday, morning stream. Probably gonna start like 9:30. Friday, Saturday morning, and we'll go from there. And we'll see if we can add in more streams as life allows. But in spite of my impending employment, I am not leaving. I will continue to stream. Because as long as y'all keep showing up, and as long as the AI do be newsing, somebody's got to do it. And I think that's it. So, as Larry pointed out, we got a ruling yesterday in one of these here lawsuits. And I decided to go with the National Law Review, as I'm hoping that they will give us the most complete context as to what just happened. AI wins big on fair use, but judge slams brake on piracy in landmark Anthropic copyright ruling. A federal judge has handed the AI industry a massive victory. Still, it came with a crucial catch. Innovation can't be built on a foundation of theft, and AI systems must earn their authority through legitimate means. In a closely watched case, a U.S. district judge ruled that AI company Anthropic's use of copyrighted books to train its powerful AI model Claude was exceedingly transformative and qualified as a legal fair use. The decision is a game changer for AI developers who argue that learning from vast data sets is essential for innovation. However, the judge drew a sharp line in the sand, ruling that Anthropic's separate act of downloading and storing millions of books from pirate sites was not a fair use, and that the company will have to face a trial for it. This nuanced decision strikes a balance in the in the high stakes battle between copyright holders and the rapidly evolving world of artificial intelligence, reflecting a growing recognition that how AI systems acquire their capabilities matters as much as what they can do with them. When AI models shape human understanding and decision making at an unprecedented, we're going to start right off, first article of the day, unprecedented scale, the legitimacy of their knowledge sources becomes a question of technological integrity and not just legal compliance. The authors allege that Anthropic, multi-billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar frontier large language model backed by Amazon and Google, built its AI by infringing on their copyrights by feeding their books to Claude without permission or payment. Section 107 of the Copyright Act identifies 4 factors for determining whether a given use of a copyrighted work is fair use: the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes. What up, Resute? Yeah, we covered it, and it's in the VOD, and it will also. I did call it though. It's in the VOD. You'll have to watch the VOD if you want to see what I said about what Johnny Olives had to say. But when I went to upload it to YouTube, YouTube said copyright. So I have to trim out all of the sections of Johnny Olives from that. And again, it happens automatically. I go to the thing, it's what do you want to do? I push the button that says trim, I push the button that says save, and then YouTube will trim that out for me. So no fair use. It's not fair use. Not on YouTube. Johnny Olives said no. And to be fair to Johnny Olives, it's not it's probably HBO, or whatever company is behind the production of his show, rather than, we don't know where he would stand on that. I think I have an idea, but to be fair, I don't know. So yeah, purpose and character, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and sustainability of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Judge William Alsup of the Northern District of California sided with Anthropic on the most critical question: the use of copyrighted works to train an AI model. He reasoned that Anthropic's approach to the books was not to replace them, but to learn from them to create something entirely new. In a powerful analogy, Judge Alsup wrote that the process was quintessentially transformative. Like any reader aspiring to be a writer, Anthropic LLMs trained upon works not to race ahead and replicate or supplant them, but to turn a hard corner and create something different. The court emphasized that the AI did not simply spit out copies of the author's work. The judge noted that Anthropic's models have not reproduced to the public a given work's creative elements, nor even one author's identifiable expressive style. Because the final product didn't compete with or replace the original books, the training process was deemed fair. This part of the ruling is a significant relief for AI companies who have long argued their training methods are a modern form of research and learning. So, precedent set. Right? Precedent set. Training your model on copyrighted works, no matter what those copyrighted works are, is quintessentially transformative. The catch: can't just bless yourself. While the ruling on AI training was a clear win for Anthropic, the judge took a much dimmer view of how the company acquired a large portion of its data. The court found that before Anthropic began purchasing and scanning millions of physical books, it first downloaded over 7 million books from known pirate libraries such as LibGen. Anthropic kept these books in a massive central library to use for research, retaining them forever, even if they were never used for training. The court's reasoning suggests that AI systems can legitimately read human cultural output to develop their capabilities, but only when that reading occurs through recognized channels of access and permission. Judge Alsup rejected the idea that a future fair use can excuse initial theft. He quoted Anthropic's own lawyer's argument back at them in this decision. You can't just bless yourself by saying I have a research purpose and therefore go and take any textbook you want. That would destroy the academic publishing market if that were the case. The ruling implicitly acknowledges that AI systems don't operate in isolation. They function as intermediaries that shape how humans access and understand information. When these systems are built on illegitimately acquired content, they potentially perpetuate unauthorized appropriation at scale, influencing human choices based on improperly obtained knowledge. The ruling was blunt about the piracy. This order doubts that any accused infringer could ever meet its burden of explaining why downloading source copies from pirate sites that it could have purchased or otherwise accessed lawfully was itself reasonably necessary to any subsequent fair use. For Anthropic, this means it will face a trial for damages. The judge scheduled the trial to determine the damages Anthropic may have to pay for the infringement. He concluded that a later purchase doesn't erase the initial crime. That Anthropic later bought a copy of a book it earlier stole off the internet will not absolve it of liability.
Yeah, it's probably that.
Sorry, Larry. I forgot to turn on the thing. I let you down. It was good timing. It was good timing. But nobody heard it but me. The judge scheduled a trial to determine the damages Anthropic may have to pay for the infringement. He concluded that a later purchase doesn't erase the initial. That Anthropic later bought a copy of the book it earlier stole off the internet will not absolve it of liability for the theft, but it may affect the extent of statutory damages. What this means for AI and authors, let's find out. The landmark decision offers both sides a partial victory and sets a critical precedent. What up, Michael? I don't care about the academic publishing market. Academic journals serve the public interest, and they should be part of the commons. I agree. For AI companies, the ruling validates the core argument that training LLMs on copyrighted material can be a transformative fair use. This suggests a legal green light for the fundamental process that powers generative AI, provided the material is lawfully acquired. This creates a framework where AI systems can legitimately train from human cultural expression while respecting the rights of creators. It also establishes, however, that the means of acquisition matter. AI systems that will increasingly mediate human access to information must themselves be developed through legitimate channels. For authors and creators, the court proclaims that AI companies are not above the law. They cannot simply scrape content from pirate sites to build their models. This creates an incentive for AI developers to license content or find other legitimate ways to source their training data. This ruling arrives as AI systems become more sophisticated mediators of human knowledge and decision making. The court's emphasis on legitimate acquisition suggests a recognition that AI development practices have implications that extend beyond copyright law. When AI systems can influence human understanding through their responses, the integrity of their training process becomes a matter of technological accountability. The decision may also influence how courts approach other aspects of AI development, where the methods used to create AI capabilities affect their legitimacy as information intermediaries. As AI systems become more integrated into research, education, and professional decision making, questions about the integrity of their development processes will likely extend beyond copyright to encompass broader concerns about technological transparency and accountability. If upheld, because it may be appealed, the decision will stand for the notion that AI can read the world's books to learn, but it first needs a library card. Like, very specifically, what Larry just said. More broadly, it suggests that as AI systems become powerful mediators of human knowledge and choice, their authority must be earned through legitimate means. The future of AI will not be built on piracy. What up, Pharaoh? We hit an unprecedented in like the second paragraph of this article. Either of content or of the trust necessary for AI systems to serve as reliable partners in human decision making. Over time, Anthropic came to value most highly for its data mixes books like the ones authors had written, and it valued them because of the creative expression they contained. Claude's customers wanted Claude to write as accurately and as compellingly as authors. So it was best to train the LLM underlying Claude on works just like the ones authors had written, with well curated facts, well organized analyses, and captivating fictional narratives. Above all, with good writing of the kind an editor would approve of. Opinion, page 6. So, what does this mean? Primarily, it does mean that all AI training is fair use. So, barring an appeal, which invalidates his ruling, that's settled, right? Whether you can disagree, right? Peekaboo. You can disagree. People disagree with legal rulings all the time. However, the law, which is what copyright is based on, right? Copyright is a legal function. So, a legal determination that training is fair use is a legal determination. So, it functions within copyright law. Done. How will they get the books? This is the question. The lawyers here at the National Legal Review, which apparently is these gentlemen here, did maybe tongue in cheek, but maybe not, that it needs a library card. So, as Larry put forth earlier, it is possible that they will be using library access, right? Whether it's, people going to the local library and bringing the book back to Anthropic or whoever and physically scanning the book. That's a legal acquisition of the book. We are authorized to go to the library and take out a book, and we don't have to pay anyone to do that. So it would fall under the legal fair use. It's also possible that online access to things like the Library of Congress could provide some access for books for training. Right, but in an important distinction, and that's why I didn't bring up Google. The Google thing will probably come up during damages, right? As to the intent behind it. But we'll see, right? Like, we'll see how the damages lay out. But because they pirated the books, that's going to go against them, right? Where Google was like, we're just trying to get everything down, right? Like, we're just trying to collect up the books, and we're not giving people the whole book. We're giving them like a snippet of the book. We just want to make sure that, like, we don't lose the books or something along those lines, right? Like, it was definitely more in a research vein. And they did not take stuff from the pirate sites like LibGen. They acquired them through whatever means that the court deemed as acceptable, right? And I believe it was that they were taking the book and running it through a scanner. It's also probable that you're going to see like Simon and Schuster and Harper Press and Penguin and these other companies with a huge back catalog of books make licensing deals, right? Very similar to what you're seeing in, at least we're hearing about as it relates to the Suno Udio versus the music, right? Exactly that kind of thing. Now, it's interesting in that lawsuit is not done, and this precedent may affect those negotiations, right? But again, I don't think it's going to change anything in the long term. I believe that AI companies are going to make licensing agreements with the copyright holders. But you know, it might change how those, like, you know, conversations go, right? If Udio and Suno did not pirate anything, if no one can prove that they pirated music, then they're good, right? like basically they're good. But we don't know, you know. For example, I recently came across market research regarding mounted robotic arms on wheelchairs. If I want to look at it, they want to charge approximately $4,700 to read it. I guess one could argue that this is market research and therefore not academic, but that price is still egregious. Excuse me. Yes. Whatever the market will bear, right? Market research would be different from publicly funded research, probably. It'd be interesting to see if any of that market research came from any publicly funded sources. But in order to do that, we would need to spend $4,700. So yeah, here we are. We stand at a crossroads. Just to toot my own horn a little bit, I was correct that training of the AI is fair use. And I believe at this point, like based on that and this ruling, that I was also correct when I said that this is probably going to end up with settlements and licensing deals, right? This has consistently been my position, and I feel that have been validated in the one part and will be validated in the other part. Especially if, we get the whatever the deal is. We get the public disclosure of whatever the deal is between Suno and Udio and the music companies. At that point, then we'll have like a framework for that kind of stuff. Now, what does this mean for you who put your stuff on the internet? That's going to depend on the terms of service. So whatever you agreed to when you click that little button to use the website, and then you uploaded your content to whatever website you uploaded your content to, there was probably something in there that is going to play out. Does it mean that you are going to get compensated by the AI companies? Incredibly unlikely. The only, I mean, the only people who do that, Pharaoh, is everybody. Because otherwise, you lied when you pushed the little button that said you agreed to it. Because it says you read and agreed to it. That's an important legal distinction. Now, it's also a legal fiction because you're correct. Most people skim by and then hit the button. So, yeah. What up, Princess Kimberly? All right, what else we got? YouTube will add an AI slop button thanks to Google's Veo 3. Let's make YouTube the one-stop shop for AI slop. And this is James Perrow. James, I told you that AI slop was coming for your YouTube content. And did you believe me? I would have believed you. What up, James? Just in time. I don't know, maybe you did, but if you didn't believe me before, you certainly will now. According to YouTube CEO Neil Mohan, who gave a keynote at the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity on Wednesday, YouTube is getting a new tool that generates shorts from scratch. By scratch, I mean with the help of Google's recently unveiled Veo 3 AI generator. That's right, a one-stop shop for AI slop is incoming, which should be great if you like not ever knowing what's real or fake. Mohan, like many executives in tech and otherwise, is decidedly very excited about the potential for AI to shake up the game. Here's what he said during his keynote, per The Hollywood Reporter. Communities will continue to surprise us with the power of their collective fandom, and cutting-edge AI technology will push the limits of human creativity. My biggest bet is that YouTube will continue to be the stage where it all happens, where everyone with a story to share can turn their dream into a career, and anyone with a voice can bring people together and change the world. As long as people can find you, because discoverability is still Speaking of AI, these models could be helpful in making the EULA digestible. It absolutely can. It absolutely can. It's one of the earliest uses of the current AI wave was people taking EULAs and uploading them into the AI chatbots to ask what's actually going on here, and then people use that to provide an analysis of the EULA. As long as they allow a filter to remove it from your feed. Oh, wait, sorry, that's not how this works. I mean, again, if you go to YouTube, right? You can't do it from here, right? This is just whatever. But when you go here, you can go and click on 4 to 20 minutes. And that's going to eliminate all shorts from your search, but it will eliminate the AI slop, right? And then you just get to deal with human slop. Like, look, speaking of human slop, it's Matt Walsh. Hi, Matt. On your front page of YouTube, if you happen to run into AI slop or anything else you don't particularly want to deal with, give me something. Here, this is this is an AI slop, right? Kind of thing. You just click the 3 things and you say not interested. Boop, and it go away. And you can even tell them why. Right? I don't know if they can. What they could do, Larry, is that if a video happens to contain like this one, right? This is obviously a collection of clips, and or maybe this is real. I don't know. Trying to figure out what I want to click on and then be have that be represented. Anyways, when you click on a YouTube video, right? Let's pick a Nate, right?
We've got Claude.
Just Nate. Down here, it should indicate somewhere that it contains AI content, right? When you upload a video to YouTube, there's a little button or little check boxes if you used AI. And if you're using AI in a way that could be construed as like real, then like that. Now, do people use that? I have no idea. That would be something to ask YouTube, a company that is totally forthcoming with transparency. So that's what a browser extension could do, right? It could search for any videos, or like it could blank out or not bring you shit that has that AI tag in it, but then you're relying on people to do that. And like, where does that go with stuff like this?
Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you. Go on.
Right? That uses AI for the voice, right? And the person who at There I Ruined It actually does sing, and then they use the voice transformer like James is working on in order to transform their voice to sound like someone else, right? So that's AI. Would that eliminate that? I think we can all agree that there's a tremendous amount of human creativity that exists within this. Even if you don't like it, you have to admit that there's human creativity. So, and again, it's like the more that you do the thing, that's a possibility. Something like sponsor block. It's always possible, though, that type of system, because it's user generated, could be abused. Right? Did you say something positive in your video about AI? Well, now the people who are anti-AI flag your video as AI content so that the extension picks it up and prevents you from getting that content. So now you're not hearing an alternative point of view like mine, right? Like, even though I use very little AI generated content except as, for like demonstrative purposes, something created by someone else. I don't create any AI content. Someone could flag my content channel, what have you, as AI, and therefore, it's eliminated by the extension, right? It's a form of censorship, such as life. But that's one of the pitfalls, right? I don't want anyone to hear an alternative point of view. I don't know, Larry. I'm just vibing, baby. All right. So, dude said a thing. Sure, that's one possibility, I guess. The other possibility, a new and heaping mountain of junk content that neither enriches your general selection of YouTube fodder nor protects the already embattled line between reality and fiction. And again, like we have watched like like NeuralViz, right? NeuralViz entertaining, creative, fun, whatever other words you want to use to describe what they do, right? And AI generated. All of this is AI stuff. Know what I mean? So, and then there's other ones. Some people do good work with AI. Some people produce slop. Just like regular people, not AI folk. Best AI slop on the internet. Shout out NeuralViz. No, you don't. I hate to be the resident slippery slope guy. No, you don't. Anyone who says slippery slope doesn't hate to be a slippery slope guy because they're literally the only people who say slippery slope. But how far are we really going to take this? According to Mohan, pretty freaking far. The possibilities with AI are limitless. Mohan said during the keynote, a lot can change in a generation. Entertainment itself has changed more in the last 2 decades than any other time in history. Creators led this revolution. It's a little ironic, probably not, to extol the creator led content revolution on one hand and introduce a watershed tool that helps vacuum up all of their content and regurgitate it into AI slop on the other. But hey, who's counting? Oh, that's right. Hollywood is. According to the Hollywood Reporter, YouTube has already struck a deal with the Creative Artists Agency that gives artists and athletes control over their likeness. But that's just some artists who are okay with capitulating to the apparent tsunami of video generation. Hundreds of other actors have already voiced their concerns over the potential for AI to ruin their careers and plunder their intellectual property. As a result, they've called for regulation on generative AI and its implementation. You may have gathered from the simple fact of my writing these words right now that the cries for a legal framework haven't really gone anywhere. Oh, the government has disappointed you and isn't reacting to your needs? It's the first time meme, right? Like every time. You're familiar with this meme? Right? Also, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs is a good time. You should go watch it. It's on Netflix. But this this meme, right? Like I just feel it every time. It's like, oh, has the government disappointed you? Yeah, again, the best time to do anything about that was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Speaking of which, shout out Mamdani for fucking winning that fucking primary, right? What happens in the general is an entire other animal. et cetera, et cetera. But congratulations, right? Like that's an example of people, right, putting in the work, right? They knocked on doors, they walked around, they went to meet the voters, right? You want to talk about what up, walking stick? You want to? Yes, yes. Are there huge moneyed interests that are against you if you're trying to engage with electoralism, right? Like, absolutely, it's an uphill battle. Now, they're not going to change the way that they're doing business. Can you adapt to that? And Mamdani said yes. And if nothing else, fucking A, Cotton. Yeah, and it's like I expected to, walking stick, right? Like, because it's going to specifically it's going to affect the Democrat Party as far as the old guard, right? The Democrat leadership, your Pelosi's, your Schumer's, your, that kind of thing, versus the younger generation, right? Like, we're willing to go out and put in the work and do the job, and you should support us. And we'll see where the party goes. do. Placidly resist. Hashtag placidly resist. All right. So, simple writing, legal framework haven't gone anywhere. They may never, to be honest, which brings me back to YouTube's plans for a future AI slop faucet. Here we are on the precipice of real and fake, looking out of at the horizon of God knows what. Does this person understand that, like, they didn't actually go to Arrakis to film Dune? Or did they, did they think that's not the case? Here we are on the precipice of real and fake, looking out at the horizon of God knows what, waiting for the deluge of AI slop to send us kicking and screaming into the ravine of existential AI pain. I like +1 for like that framing. That was a beautiful sentence. I'm not saying YouTube's generative shorts are going to be the linchpin in that frankly depressing, slop-filled future, but there's no denying it's a nod in a sloppy direction. I guess we may as well get used to it. I mean, it can't get any worse than Mr. Beast, right? Right? What up, old lobster? What up, ribbons? Jimmy can go fuck right off. I normally don't really comment on many creators, but the fact that Jimmy released a video that contained a video of a dude finding out that his friend was dead and he published that, you're a fucking demon, dude. Like, I don't give a shit at this point what good you have done anywhere. You need to fucking log off and go get some therapy. You're wrong. I went and looked up an old Hassan video to the Gravel Institute video about decommodifying housing. Hassan gets upset that the host is smiling and hopefully that America can do it. That host? Zoran Mamdani in 2021. Nice. Nice. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know this guy. I didn't know this guy. What up, Maddie? What happened? What oh, the Mr. Beast thing? I wonder if this is a link directly to it. Oh no, this is a different thing from April. Mr. Beast, there's a video, this dude who's on camera for some reason. Like, I watched it via someone else's channel. I think it was Paradigm. and this dude was on camera for some reason, like one of those Big Brother style, the cameras are almost hidden kind of deals. And this dude finds out that his friend died, right? And like there's the most fucking disturbing thing is like this dude is sitting there playing voicemails from his friend, and Jimmy is filming it and putting it and apparently put it on the internet. Obviously they must have, because I was watching it over at Paradigms, right? Like that kind of thing. I don't know where it is. I'm not going to fuck on my algorithm by tapping into Mr. Beast, but it's out there somewhere. Maybe I can fucking find you an article. Mr. Beast's friend died? I don't even know. Yeah, this must be it. So Tyler Wall is apparently the dude who died. And this is the guy, I'm assuming, Majd, M-A-J-D, Made, like depending on how you do it. The famous YouTuber uploaded a new video on Saturday. Lose 100 pounds, win 250,000. Following his friend, I'm gonna go with Made, pronouncing the J like Y, who is challenged to lose 100 pounds in a year. Made is helped in the video by a fitness coach named Tyler Wall. In the video, Mr. B's team shared that Wall, who was 38, unexpectedly passed away around 80 days into the challenge. Now, it says here that Made, who was devastated to learn of his passing, but ultimately decides to keep going. Again, like, this is demon shit. Just give the guy the 250 grand and walk the fuck away. You know what I mean? But we don't live in that. We live in fucking Mr. Beast world. All right, back to AI. Planet was a practical effect that they just created for the movie. True. If Dune isn't real, how come there are books about it? Also true. Also, just for people who came in late, we have a ruling that training your AI on human created content does not violate copyright. It is fair use. Or make a private settlement that doesn't have to be that much or something, but keep it private. No, absolutely. What up, joint specialist? Hashish is the spice, and the spice must flow. In other lawsuit news, Suno and Udio hit with class action lawsuits from independent artists. Suno and Udio have been slapped with another round of copyright litigation, this time by country musician Tony Justice, who filed class action lawsuits against both controversial AI music generators. The complaints allege Suno and Udio used Justice's recordings and works from thousands of class members without authorization to train their models. Now, this new ruling says that it's fair use, buddy. Too bad. It's fair use. However, how did you acquire that music? That is now the question. Because if they pirated the music under the new ruling, then they owe damages for pirating the music, but not for violating copyright to train the AI. This is where we're at as of today. yesterday, technically. Justice and his label, Fifth Wheel Records, filed the lawsuit against Suno, which you that'll be an interesting thing as well, right? The Disney Warner Brothers or Disney Universal, yeah, Warner is in that as well. Like that whole thing against Midjourney, right? Is downloading YouTube videos piracy? No. And one of the reasons is they go to a special YouTube place, right? Like, it was really annoying to find out that downloading YouTube videos was not something that was going to allow me to then use that video to edit it to do all the things that I do. That was annoying as shit. So I had to go back to 4K video downloader. Justice and his label, Fifth Wheel Records, filed the lawsuit against Suno, which you can read here in Massachusetts, and the case against Udio, read here in New York. They got James coming and going. What up, Reed? The 23 and 24 page lawsuits argue that while major labels pursue their own infringement cases, independent artists whose rights have been trampled the most remained excluded from the table, unrepresented, and without a meaningful remedy. In June last year, the major music labels sued the AI startups in the U.S. for allegedly training their systems using the company's recordings without permission, an accusation they pretty much admitted to in court filings last August. But again, as of yesterday, that don't matter. It doesn't matter. Copyrighted content can be used as fair use to train AI models. Most recently, Justice's complaint states rather than simply license these copyrighted songs like every other text-based business does, and who are now going to probably regret that, Suno and Udio elected to simply steal the songs and generate AI sound-alike music at virtually no cost to Suno and Udio. Again, the only thing that matters at this point is how did they acquire the song? Justice's legal team includes Crystal Delgado, an attorney who also performs as a musician. As with the lawsuits filed by the three majors, the new cases challenge the AI company's argument that training model on copyright material constitutes fair use under copyright law. Sorry to break this to you, but we got a ruling. Justice's lawsuits contest this position, citing recent guidance by the U.S. Copyright Office. It cited the office's May 2025 report, which, according to the lawsuit, emphasized that fair use doctrine does not excuse unauthorized training on expressive works, particularly when those works are used to generate substantial outputs that may replace the originals in the relevant marketplace. Okay, this is an important feature which is covered in the ruling. In a powerful analogy, Judge Alsup wrote that the process was quintessentially transformative. Like any reader aspiring to be a writer, Anthropic's LLMs trained upon works not to race ahead and replicate or supplant them, but to turn a hard corner and create something different. Right? Suno Udio training its AI models on the copyrighted songs of independent artists, plaintiffs, and class members without authorization to then create competing music in the exact same marketplace is unlikely fair use and therefore is prima facie copyright infringement. Except it's not. Sorry, Mr. Justice. Meaning the process in which Suno and Udio's AI model trains through the reproduction and copying of existing copyrighted songs constitutes prima facie copyright infringement according to the lawsuit. So you just said that's the same thing twice. But humans wrote this. Justice's website describes him as one of country music's most talked about independent artists and a full-time truck driver. I have no idea who this dude is. His song, Last of the Cowboys, has accumulated over 8 million streams on Spotify, where he has over 54,700 monthly listeners. On YouTube, Justice has attracted over 28,000 subscribers. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this. It's going to be an interesting week, folk. I'm saying it right? Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. That was the court's finding, Rasute. To read this story, and today, in totally not devolving into drama, the entire internet is reverting to beta. The AI takeover is changing everything about the web, and not necessarily for the better. Back in my day, oh, I wish it was reverting to Betamax. A car that accelerates instead of braking every once in a while is not ready for the road. A faucet that occasionally spits out boiling water instead of cold does not belong in your house. Working properly most of the time simply isn't good enough for technologies that people are heavily reliant on. And 2.5 years after the launch of ChatGPT, generative AI is becoming such a technology. Even without actively seeking out a chatbot, billions of people are now pushed to interact with AI when searching the web, checking their email, using social media, and online shopping. 92% of Fortune 500 companies use OpenAI products. Universities are providing free chatbot access to potentially millions of students, and U.S. national intelligence agencies are deploying AI programs across their workflows. When ChatGPT went down for several hours last week, everyday users, students with exams, and office workers posted in despair. If it doesn't come back soon, my boss is going to start asking why I haven't done anything all day. Why didn't you just go to Gemini or Claude or fucking DeepSeek? One person commented on Down Detector, a website that tracks internet outages. I have an interview tomorrow for a position I know practically nothing about. Who will coach me? Wrote another totally real, totally believable person. That same day, June 10th, 2025, a Google AI overview told me the date was June 18th, 2024. I totally believe you, bro. You definitely don't have an agenda here. I mean, I'm not surprised, Pharaoh, that somebody might go on the internet and confess to, like, I'm not surprised when people go on the internet and confess to crimes at this point, right? Like, it's just something that people do because at some point in time, our brains stop working when it comes to interacting with the internet. However, I don't be believing people on the internet either. For all their promise, these tools are still janky. Do you know the amount of janky software that sorry. The amount of janky software that people engage with on a daily basis, happily, right? Happily. At the start of the AI boom, there were plenty of train wrecks. Bing's chatbot telling a tech columnist to leave his wife. Yeah, you know who that is? Kevin Roose. You know what Kevin Roose did? He came over to the dark side. ChatGPT espousing overt racism, but these were plausibly passed off as early stage bugs. Today, though the overall quality of generative AI products has improved dramatically, subtle errors persist. The wrong date, incorrect math, fake books, and quotes. Google Search now bombards users with AI overviews above the actual search results or a reliable Wikipedia snippet. I mean, they bombard users with AI overviews over the SEO presented. Actually, before you even get to the SEO, you have that the what you call it, where like they paid to be there, like just straight paid money, and then you get to the SEO stuff, and then you get to the actual search content, you know. Gemini is pro Black AF. Hey. The Google ads. Now, is it the Google ads? Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. But again, everything was fine before 2022. Everyone was happy with SEO. What up, Cosmic? Search engine optimization. Yeah. I need to get a new phone and I really want to get a Pixel, but the only thing the new Pixels are offering as their big push is the BS AI shit nobody wants. Did you say that like in that way on purpose? Because some people like the AI BS or the BS AI shit, you know, so those people might want the BS AI shit, Maddie. So then it's nobody. Would you do nobody plus X or nobody minus X to indicate that it's not actually nobody, but it's a value? Google died. I love it. Google died. No, it's the nobody everybody thing, Maddie. That's what I'm particularly harping on, is because a lot of people, you know, on the internet fucking do their fucking nobody who asked for this. Okay, some of us did. Just nobody, maybe nobody you know. Or maybe, I don't know, nobody's willing to express their actual opinion to you because you're unhinged when it comes to this subject. He's occasionally included such errors, a problem that Google warns about in a disclaimer beneath each overview. Facebook, Instagram, and X are awash with bots and AI-generated slop. Well, the bots actually came before the AI-generated slop.
Okay, I was getting a drink of water.
Oh, really?
Listen how much water I drank.
Wow, that's really cool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What up, Doc? Doc, did you hear about the Anthropic case? I'm going to be talking about this forever. This is a really good article because it's from the National Law Review and they really get into it, right? So, was I? Nice. Amazon is stuffed with AI generated scam products. Maybe I've never seen one of them. And actually, Amazon is like they are. You can say that Amazon is abusive when it comes to policing their content on Amazon. I find that it actually being stuffed with AI scam products to be unlikely based on what I know from people who work at an Amazon fulfillment company, right? Like, so I don't, maybe not, maybe not. I just know that I haven't seen, now I've seen cheap, weird bullshit like the, what was it? Is like I think it was a solar powered defroster. Yeah. This, right? Solar powered snow removal tool. This is a scam. This thing doesn't work. Right? I'm confident that this fucking thing here doesn't work either. But these are human scam slop products, not AI generated. So that's different, right? That's different. I'd say from my personal perspective, an expected decision training obviously isn't copyright infringement, but file sharing still is. File sharing aspect, while they were always going to get punished for that eventually. Main news is just that we now have good judicial authority for training not being infringement. Yeah. And it, in that article, like I don't know how jokingly, but they talk about that the AI needs its library card, and that there's some interesting you know, what does that mean, right? Could it actually be that simple? Could they access information out of the Library of Congress or something like that? Or are they going to have to license products, which again is also a possibility, right? Like licensing agreements, also kind of what we expected. Hey, don't talk shit about sea monkeys. Brine shrimp are cool, man. Main thing of it is they didn't do anything wrong by just using the books and training data. No licenses needed. They just didn't actually buy the books they were using. And in fact, it turns out that apparently they did buy a bunch of the books that they had even pirated. But again, according to that article, that doesn't excuse them from using the pirated stuff first, even if they paid for it afterward. But it may affect the amount of damages, you know. Right. You can't just go heal and pirate off the internet, which we knew, right? Definitely all of you are very good and you understand that pirating off the internet is a no-no, and you wouldn't download a car, would you? What up, Nine? Can you? I don't know. Can you download a car? I feel like buying the book isn't the same as buying IP use like that. Apparently, like trying to go off this article and extrapolate some things. You can go and get a copy of the book, which as long as you acquire the book in a legal way, right? Either buying a copy of the book or legally you can go and borrow a book from the library and then you scan it and then you train the AI with it. That's all good. That's all good. If he didn't want shit in it, he shouldn't have lost his helmet. That's all I'm saying, Maddie. Digital service and products were, of course, never perfect. Google search already has lots of unhelpful advertisements, while social media algorithms have amplified radicalizing and misinformation. But as basic services for finding information or connecting with friends, until recently, they worked. I don't know. It depends on who you talk to. Meanwhile, the chatbots being deployed as fixes to the old web's failings, Google's rush to overhaul search with AI, Zuckerberg's absurd statements that AI can replace human friends. Well, to be fair to Zuckerberg, from his point of view, said Zuckerberg lives rent free in my head. That's all I'm saying. Elon Musk's suggestion that his Grok chatbot can combat misinformation on X are only exacerbating those problems while also introducing entirely new sorts of malfunctions and disasters. More important, the extent of the AI industry's new ambition to rewire not just the web, but also the economy, education, and even the workings of government with a single technology magnifies any flaws to the same scale. Oh, Resute, like download library card to use in return. Like, so a plus side, potential plus side, right, is imagine, if you will, the AI companies get library cards, right? Like people there, what have you. And they use those library cards and sign up for something like Libby, right? The app that allows you to download or to use books that are available at the library. And that increases the amount of library cards and increases the amount of traffic going to these libraries to get this content. And as a side effect, the libraries get to show, look at all these people. We need more funding. And if there's one thing that, you know, white, middle, and wealthy class people love to do, is support a library. What up, Fancy Pudding? A library can't become expensive. At least I live in New York, and our libraries are free at the point of use, right? I don't even have to pay like fees if I keep the book too long, right? Be like New York. More important, no, they'll remain free. The funding is like a service, and again, middle class and wealthy class white suburban folk love to fund libraries, even city folk, right? It just makes them feel good. So I'm not worried about the libraries, right? Like it's a status symbol. More important, the extent of the AI industry's new ambitions to rewire not just the web, but also the economy, education, and even the working of government with a single technology magnifies any flaw to the same scale. The reasons for generative AI problems are no mystery. Large language models, like those that underlie ChatGPT, work by predicting characters in a sequence, mapping statistical relationship between bits of text and the ideas they represent. Yet prediction, by definition, is not certainty. Chatbots are very good at producing writing that sounds convincing, but they do not make decisions according to what's factually correct. Let me tell you about people. Instead, they arrange patterns of words according to what sounds right. Again, people. Meanwhile, these products' internal algorithms are so large and complex that researchers cannot hope to fully understand their abilities and limitations. For all the additional protections tech companies have added to make AI more accurate, these bots can never guarantee accuracy. The embarrassing failures are a feature of AI products, and thus they are becoming features of the broader internet. Sure, if you don't know how to use the tool, what you said, but if you actually spend time learning how to use the tool, you can find they are in fact accurate. It just requires learning. If this is the AI age, then we're living in broken times. Well, we are living in broken times, no matter the AI or not. Nevertheless, Sam Altman has called ChatGPT an oracular system that can sort of do anything within reason, and last week proclaimed that OpenAI has built systems that are smarter than people in many ways. Debatable. I know people, and not so debatable. Mark Zuckerberg has repeatedly said that Meta will build AI coding agents equivalent to mid-level human engineers this year. Just this week, Amazon released an internal memo saying it expects to reduce its total workforce as it implements more AI tools. The anomalies are sometimes strange and very concerning. I always find it fascinating when people can carry these two thoughts in their head. There's a particular group, right, who does it all the time, right? Umberto Eco has a list talking about that group of people where the AI is both woefully incompetent and produces slop and makes shit up, and at the same time is so powerful that it's taking away people's jobs. The enemy is both strong and weak. Recent updates have caused ChatGPT to become aggressively obsequious. +1 for use of obsequious. And the Grok chatbot on X to fixate on a conspiracy theory about white genocide. X later attributed the problem to an unauthorized change to the bot, which the company corrected. Interesting that you didn't note that ChatGPT, OpenAI also felt that they didn't say it was an unauthorized change, but they did roll it back when it felt that what they claimed was that people felt that it was too sycophantic, right? Anyways, a recent New York Times investigation reported several instances of AI chatbot inducing mental breakdown and psychotic episodes. These models are vulnerable to all sorts of simple cyber attacks. I've repeatedly seen advanced AI models stuck in doom loops, repeating the same sequence until they manually shut down. You mean when a person manually shuts them down? And again, the enemy is both strong and weak. Silicon Valley is betting the future of the web on technology that can unexpectedly go off the rails, melt down at the simplest tasks, and be misused with alarmingly little friction. The internet is reverting to beta mode. My point isn't that generative AI is a scam or that it's useless. Interesting, because you basically said that it makes mistakes all the time. This is the point, because a lot of articles or a lot of videos do this, right? Like, we'll be watching somebody talk shit about the AI for 3/4 of the video, and then in the last section, they're like, hey, I don't hate AI. It's got legitimate uses that I think are great. It's just this specific case that I spent 3/4 of my time talking about is the problem. I don't like it. These tools can be legitimately helpful for many people when used in a measured way with human verification. I've reported on scientific work that has advanced as a result of the technology, including revolutions in neuroscience and drug discovery. But these success stories bear little resemblance to the way many people and firms understand and use the technology. Marketing has far outpaced innovation. Rather than targeted, cautiously executed uses, it's like this is capitalism, bro. We don't do targeted, cautiously executed uses. We haven't done that, I don't know, ever. Like, asbestos was a thing, man, and asbestos may be a thing again. We put lead in the paint and in the gasoline. Rather than targeted, cautiously executed uses, many throw generative AI at any task imaginable, with big tech's encouragement. Everyone is using AI for everything, a Times headline proclaimed this week. What up, Iggy? Therein lies the issue. Generative AI is a technology that works well enough for users to become dependent, but not consistently enough to be truly dependable. Going back to the beginning of this paragraph, my point isn't that generative AI is a scam or that it's useless. I'm just saying that generative AI is a technology that works well enough for users to become dependent, but not consistently enough to be truly dependable. I can't even maintain one position throughout an entire paragraph. Reorienting the internet and society around imperfect and relatively untested products. Again, I'm an American, bro. Reorienting the internet and society around imperfect and relatively untested products is not the inevitable result of scientific and technological progress. It is an active choice Silicon Valley is making every day. Just them. It's their fault, and they're doing it, and the rest of us are just along for the ride. That future web is one in which most people and organizations depend on AI for most tasks. This would mean an internet in which every search, set of directions, dinner recommendation, event synopsis, voicemail summary, and email is a tiny bit suspect. What up, Vitingale? In which digital services that essentially worked in the 2010. Oh, we did it. Back in my day, the internet of the 2010s, when everything essentially worked, are just a little bit unreliable. And while minor inconveniences for individual users may be fine, even amusing.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
I do love the young people. Y'all can do whatever you want. You want to? Michael makes counters. Just I gave them authority and they ran with it. And while minor inconveniences for individual users may be fine, even amusing, an AI bot taking incorrect notes during a doctor visit or generating an incorrect treatment plan is not. It's weird because my homie uses Fathom all the time and has no complaints about it hallucinating. Funny that. AI products could settle into a liminal zone. They may not be wrong frequently enough to be jettisoned, but they also may not be wrong rarely enough to ever be fully trusted, like people. For now, the technology's flaws are readily detected and corrected. But as people become more and more accustomed to AI in their life, at school, at work, at home, they may cease to notice. Already, a growing body of research correlates persistent use of AI with a drop in critical thinking. Studies that, if you actually look at them, tend to break down almost immediately with a limited amount of actual research and a limited
Okay, I was gonna drink a
participant.
water.
Oh, really?
Listen to how much water I drank.
Wow, that's really cool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like the latest one that everybody's talking about. Remember? MIT study, totally, definitely is valid, even though it's 54 people from Boston is the entire data set. 54 people from Boston. Not even 54 people from across the fucking country, but 54 folks in Boston. And that some of them, by the end of the fucking study, were just phoning it in with ChatGPT. It's definitely the AI's fault that they were phoning it in. Anyways, as chatbots creep into every digital crevice, you got chatbots in your digital crevice, they may continue to degrade the web gradually, even gently. Today's jankiness may, by tomorrow, simply be normal. This is Mateo Wong, right? Mateo Wong isn't old enough to be all back in my day. And definitely has strong views about AI. So I'm going to I'm going to take his views with a grain of salt. All right, chat, we did it. We made it through another day of the AI news. I will be back at 5 p.m. Eastern to do the AI videos. Where are you, old man? 12 o'clock. There you are. Yes. As far as I can tell, like, I'm proceeding as if I have a anticipated start date of Sunday. I have to pass impending employment. I have to pass a background check, so that shouldn't be a problem. As far as I know, I'm good to go, so I'm acting as if I'm good to go. The new schedule starting next week will be Monday, Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I live in New York, and so this is cool. Monday, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Saturday, 9:30, maybe 9, I don't know, a.m. Eastern. We'll still give you content. I will still be here. As long as you keep coming back, I'll keep hitting the go live button to steal that from James. And in the meantime, drink your water, eat some food, take your meds if you forgot, and always remember that Shuggy loves you. So do I. Be great.